Hey everyone! Many people said that we are fortunate to live in this reform era rather than living in the colonial era. Why? As we know how the colonial government treated the pribumi at that time, it's so badly, like which is described in the Rumah Kaca book by Pramudia Anantatur. So from this book, I can notice and find out the discriminatory treatment against the pribumi. We know that discrimination is the unfair treatment of certain individual or groups due to some differences or the characteristics such as race, ethnic, gender, religion, belief, even political flaw. So in these occasions, I just intend to talk about the racial discriminations that were occur in the colonial era and also related to this reform era. Talking about the racial discriminations means discriminating people due to some differences in physical or in the social characteristics. I took an example based on the Rumah Kaca book when how the fate of the native who they really colonized and treat unfairly when the colonial government applied the culture style or the cultivation system just for pribumi. Of course, it's not fair for the pribumi itself who become a workers in their own land, but their crops were given to the colonial government. So, can you imagine when you live in this colonial era? So, how about in this reform era, whether there is still discrimination like that? On November, I heard the issue about the Indonesian citizens, Chinese descent, didn't have permissions to their own land in the Yogyakarta. So it is including one of the racial discriminations that were occur in the reform era, because it's contradicts of the fifth perceived social of the Pancasila, which is keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia. Furthermore, I also noticed some of discriminatory against the individual or groups in this reform era, in which maybe you also noticed, like as me, when the Papuan students in Surabaya also underwent the racial discrimination by several parties in Surabaya who cursed them with the racial words. So, in the racial discriminations actually often occur around us. Like when I was in senior high school, I had a friend who has a dark skin, and my other friends call him with a Papuan, and when our school had the contents of the fashions, he would like to join, but some of my friends instead judged him and he was not deserved to join for this content. So what a pure of him. It is like discriminating or the bullying toward the individual. Like before, I said that discriminations indeed occur on this around us without us knowing. So it means that discrimination doesn't only occur in the colonial era, but even today there is still discrimination. So I hope that in today or in the future there is no more discriminations because we live in diversity. Thank you.